guys, so we're up at Mercedes-Benz Bromley. We've come to see Edward. He's got a bit of a surprise for us today. So we've come up in my CLA 45 and Terry's got what we're going to be driving.
Got a key. You want the key too? It's brand new A-Class. So we are finally in the A-Class after
63 there.
Yeah, it's nice. Finally in the A-Class. We were supposed to do this video a couple of weeks ago, but poor weather in the UK. If you live in the UK, you know what it's like. So we're about to take it out for a drive, see what it's like. Already sitting inside it. It's quite simplistic, but there's a lot going on, isn't there?
Yeah, it's nice. It's quite a comfortable drive already, to be fair.
So this A-Class, this is an A200. It's 1.3, but it has a huge turbo, which is pushing the car up to 160 brake horsepower, and that for quite a small car and it's quite a small engine, it's quite a lot of power. So it's it's something different, and I'm sure your insurance would appreciate how small engine it is. There is quite a big kick to it as well.
It's a bit nippy. Yeah. It's a little bit nippy. So yeah, initial thoughts, it's really nice. A vast improvement on the old A-Class, I'd say, especially on the inside. Exterior looks, I'm not too sure, but I think it'll grow on you. It's very, very comfortable drive. This is in eco mode at the moment.
How many modes has it got on there?
I think it's got 4. Eco, sport, comfort, and individual mode. So let's put it in sport.
It's really different straight away. Anything's changing.
Yeah, you could feel it like downshift 1 gear.
Yeah. It's the throttle response quite. Oh, it's quite nippy.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Rapid gear change as well.
I mean, it's not an AMG, but
it'll do.
Does the job. Guess you've made to be. That's what you want from a car, innit?
It's the main thing.
Nah, actually, it is quite quick.
That put me in my seat a little bit.
Oh.
Passing your CLA.
Oh. I think I'll trade mine in now, actually. Get on these. It's actually quite quick. That does the job. Yeah, so it's a really, really smooth drive though.
So there's a new touches to this A-Class and the previous, its predecessor. So obviously I've got the A45, so mine's based on the predecessor model. So mine has, so
yours is basically like the old shape now.
Mine is now the old shape.
Whereas the CLA, I don't think they've got a new one out of those.
It's even older.
Same shape. Same.
They've got a facelift version.
No, I think the CLA still got the current model. Mate. You've now got an old car. Mine's still modern.
So basically,
you look at my number plate as well. It's 18 registered.
So the main differences on this car, first of all, starting off is the steering wheel. It's got a lot more going on the steering wheel. You've got a lot more gauges. You've got phone.
So you can now control all of the media from this side of the steering wheel and the actual head-up display in front of me on the right hand of the wheel, which is quite nice because it's literally like you just scroll up and down and press the buttons. So I will show you some shots, but it's like really user-friendly, the car. The reason why that's good is because it's one single screen, but it's 2 screens in the one. One in front of you can be your, well, Brad set it out at the moment for his rev range. You can have miles per hour. The other one can have your sat nav media, and you've got 2 different things going on, which is quite nice to have. But also in this one, it's like I said at the beginning of it, it's quite simplistic, and the reason why I say that is because the centre console, there's literally nothing going on apart from touchpad, which is the new way of how these Mercedes are able to be user interface. Yeah, got it out finally. Got it out. Took about 10 minutes.
Yeah. So you've got no centre, I don't know what you call it, cylinder.
You've got no centre console.
To change.
You've got 2 cup holders there.
Yeah, and quite a lot of space.
Then you've got the vents here. Screens in front of you, like it's quite simplistic, but obviously still everything you need and more than what the old cars had. So
yeah, touch start.
A lot nicer inside than the old A-Class.
Definitely.
I've actually driven an A220 diesel from the old shape because I had it as a courtesy car for a week, and I can remember that, and I didn't think it felt that good to drive. I thought it felt a bit, I don't know, just a bit unresponsive, and I don't know, it just didn't feel that nice. But this feels so much better to drive.
I'll give it a little bit of a...
Well, that's my foot to the floor.
It does make quite a nice sound.
It's alright.
It does make, I don't know if the engine's struggling and that's
Sounds
why.
like a V6. Sounds like a Porsche turbo, to be honest.
Very quite nice.
Let's have this bike.
He's shocked.
He's thinking, oh, that's already a Ferrari. Oh my god, it's in your A-class.
There you go, great reason to buy it straight away. Clickbait. But no, really nice. Oh, actually, quite smooth drive, isn't it?
Yeah, it's actually a really nice drive. It's lovely, yeah.
So the AMG line is it definitely looks a lot different. It looks nice as well.
It looks much nicer.
The one thing he hasn't got is an AMG badge, so don't put one on. If we see you doing it, we'll find you and we will fight you. Again, the interior is very nice. It's dynamica.
Yeah.
So it's quite a nice sporty feel.
It's
Yeah.
dynamic.
I think it helps with the dynamics.
Yeah, it really does actually. Especially inside, like a lot more streamlined. Like
the airflow in there is really
the
good.
airflow's really good. Like just flows.
It flows really well. I do like the air vents on here. They've got 3 in the centre. They've got all the buttons to change the temperatures are just underneath it. It's quite hidden as well, which is quite nice. It goes back to our point of it being quite simplistic because it's quite hidden. But no, they've done a very nice touch, and it's not cheap. Do you know what I mean? I don't feel,
Doesn't feel cheap.
Doesn't feel cheap.
Your car
You're
feels
right.
My car feels cheaper than this. Like
up there, yeah.
the badges in my car for changing temperatures and that feel very well, they are plastic, whereas these are actually quite, yeah, they're metal. It's just quite nice, and they're like little stubs, and you just flick them up and down to change whatever you need to do. Whereas mine, you touch it. Sometimes I touch the temperature, it doesn't do anything. I've got to kind of smash
Another
it
thing
in.
I noticed is the seat belts. Like in our cars, on the C-Class coupes and upwards, you get the big chunky bit on the seat belt.
Yeah.
Don't you, Ed?
Yeah.
You don't, and that's not in our cars. We haven't got that in the old A-Class or the CLA or whatever.
Yeah.
But this has, so it feels, even the seat belts feel a bit more expensive.
Yeah. Hey Mercedes,
How can I help you?
what do you think of Brad's new trim?
What can I do for you?
Yeah, she thinks it's dead.
You love it, yeah? Alright, so this car is fitted with Mercedes-Benz user experience, so you can speak to it as you would your iPhone in terms of Siri. So I'm just going to say to the car now, hey Mercedes,
How can I help you?
what's the weather like today?
Date, the 19th of August 2018.
That's not what I said, mate. Hey Mercedes,
How can I help you?
what is the weather like today?
Today it will be partly cloudy. How can I help you?
Can you take me to Mercedes-Benz Bromley?
Select an entry, please.
Number 1.
Do you want to start route guidance or modify the current route guidance?
Start route guidance.
Start of route guidance.
So this is the new 2018 A-Class. What do you think of the shape? We're not sure. I think the front is really nice. The back, I think it will grow on you. I'm just not too sure.
Lights look like a Ford Fiesta, the new ones, doesn't it?
So yeah, it's hard. I think the AMG model will be like really nice. I think the AMG model will be like. I think if they put a new rear bumper with a diffuser at the bottom, maybe a spoiler, maybe wider arches, I think it will make the car look so much better. I quite like it from the side. It looks a bit like a Peugeot. So this is the car from the front. Much better, I think, improved styling than its predecessor. With the lights and everything, I think the front really looks good. Yeah, it's black. It's really nice. So this has got the Panamericana style grille in terms of it's wider at this point than it is at the top. But that will look really good again on the new AMG model, which is meant to be released September, early September. Maybe the A35 is going to be released, so look forward to that. So this Mercedes A-Class has got a slightly different front badge. If you remember on the other A-Classes, it was completely flush at the front, or you either could put your hands right in there. Well, this is still kind of like the flush appearance, but the star actually sticks out a bit more, so I think that looks a lot better than the flush one. So the A-Class has got a new front vent here on the front bumper. So basically it allows air to flow through, right through and over the alloy, making it a bit more efficient. So as you can see, you can put your hands right through there. If we had a bit of paper, you could slide it right through, but you don't, so. Really nice, really nice.
Really good car. What do you think? So the new A-Class is now the has the biggest boot space for its model. As you can see, it's actually quite practical, almost the same as the GLA. So you can fit a couple of bodies in here if you really wanted to. So
I'll try it.
Yeah, go on, let's do it.
I'll try and get in there.
Brad's something in stone and he's getting in it fine.
Yeah, I like it.
Let's actually shut the door. See if he's... Right, drive. But you can see, nothing to be seen, and then...
Oh, it's quite nice actually.
That's alright, isn't it?
Get me in there.
Was that comfortable?
Yeah, it's nice, yeah.
Could you see yourself commuting to London and parking and living in there?
It's probably more comfortable in there than the old A-Class, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got some fake exhaust tips as well. Don't know if you see under there, but it's a Pulis exhaust, but this even has a back diffuser, which is quite cool. And on a standard road car, not AMG line, yeah, but it's not an AMG car, but it's still got a nice diffuser on the back of it. Something different.
So as we've mentioned, this car is a 1.3. It has got a turbo in it, so it's 160 brake horsepower. But if we actually look at the engine bay here, it's actually quite small. So the engine's here, the turbo's tucked in down there.
Bit rattly.
But yeah, so this engine, being a petrol as well, is actually very economical. Our friend Ed, he managed to get about 59 miles to the gallon on the motorway. And that's pretty good coming from a petrol car. Normally you get that in a diesel, so nowadays you can actually see the turbo is actually doing what it's supposed to do, and it's actually getting a lot more boost in such a small car that you're getting it very efficiently. So yeah!
Your actual viewpoint in the car over the bonnet, you don't actually see the bonnet itself. All you can really see is the road, so you've got a lot more better vision. This is where I'm sitting now. This is like what it'd be like as a driver. As you can see, you can't really see the bonnet in front of you at all you can see is the road. So that's pretty neat. But yeah, the interior, like we say, it's quite minimalist, but there's still a lot going on in terms of performance and technology. So
right here we're going on dynamic stacking. Individual configuration, you can change all that. See winter tyres limit. I think that looks very
good.
Pretty efficient as well, the way it actually moves and stuff. Lights as well. This one unfortunately doesn't have ambient lighting, so you can't really change anything like that. But you can do the outside lighting, how it's shut off, interior lighting as well when you want it to shut off, or if you want it shut in the first place. Oh, sports style, I like that, that's cool. So if you want more of an aggressive look, you can change to sports. And this is like the E63.
That's similar to the E63, yeah.
Yeah, it looks very cool. Very nice. Give it a little rev. Can't see it.
Beast.
Yeah, that looks...
Yeah, you can go now.
Yeah, there is a lot of power there.
Yeah, it's quite
very
quick.
Responsive.
Yeah, it's quick.
I like the fact you've got flappy paddle as well to make it feel like you're in actually quite a fast car as well. The steering wheel as well just feels like you feel more control. I know it's the car doing most of the control anyway, but it feels very secure.
I think there's the gearbox itself as well is a lot better than the old A-Class.
Yeah,
it's a lot more responsive.
Stop as well. Actually, normally in the A-Class as well, it just kicks in all of a sudden, and you still want to move. You can just feel it bump back up. This one's actually alright. It doesn't hesitate. It's just okay. You're not stopping just yet. Okay, now you've stopped, or you'll keep going.
Suppose you how many horsepower you're using on that screen. So this car's got 140 horsepower, 160 horsepower. Yeah, it's not a bad car at all.
It's actually quite nice. I actually quite like it.
So Bains, you've got the A45, the old shape now, really old shape now. It's like looks terrible. Well, how does it compare to? Obviously, it's not an AMG, so it's completely different. But in terms of actually like seat position and driving, what does it feel like compared to your
I generally think this is quite fun. I actually quite like it. Like, I don't think it's lacking in power.
Ah.
At 1.3, my pocket's going to be loving life. This is actually quite a lot of fun. I was quite sceptical about driving it. I thought, it's going to be quite slow, you know, it's not going to be living up to my 45, but I wouldn't say it's far off. I mean, on paper it probably seems it, but in terms of enjoyment and driving it, quite a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm really keen on this. Ed sort us a deal out, mate. Like the power's just there, mate. Honestly, I'm not even putting my
The question is then, would you rather take this brand new one and trade yours in? No.
Well, we're going to do another video, aren't we?
Yeah.
So I'll leave my opinion for that video.
Okay.
All right.
So we're going to do a video because this car, spec-wise, AMG line, you're looking at about 30 grand. For that money, you can now pick up quite a decent A45.
High spec as well.
High spec one. I think it'd be interesting to see the comparisons on those two. I mean, it depends what you want from a car, whether you want performance or whether you want like a comfortable drive, which is cheap to run, stuff like that. But yeah, we'll save all that for another video.
Definitely.
So Ed's gonna have to lend us his car for the day, I think.
So what's that, Ed? But no, that's our quick review on the A-Class. Overall, I'd say I'm actually quite keen on it. I do like it. One thing I'm not keen on is the rear, like you say as well. I'm sure you think the same thing as well.
Yeah, the rear I'm not sure about design, but I think the front looks brilliant. From the sides, I mean, it's a hatchback at the end of the day. It looks like a hatchback. But I think the AMG models, like we've said, I think they'll really. I've seen some people make up mock designs of what the A45 or the A35, which potentially is coming in September, is going to look like, and I think it'll look really good. I actually go as far as saying as I already think the new AMG model of the A-Class will already look better than the old one. So it's exciting to.
It's exciting times, isn't it?
Exciting times. I'm really excited to see that. And obviously also Mercedes have launched the A-Class sedan as well, which I think looks really good. But supposedly they're making that as well as going to be carrying on production of the CLA, so it doesn't really make sense because they look quite similar. But
I do think that the sedan A-Class is to be a competitor of the A-Class sedan, the A3.
The A3 Saloon.
Saloon.
Yeah, the A3 Saloon. Yeah. Oh, shut up.
Shut up.
Yeah, I think the A3 Saloon. Its competitor will probably be the A-Class sedan, so that again, I think that looks a really nice car. But yeah, anyway, once again, thanks to Mercedes Bromley and Edward Harrison again for letting us take this car out today. Go check them guys out if you're interested in getting one of these or just test driving it or doing videos if
or even go and looking at the showroom. They have some monsters there.
Next video we're gonna, like we said, we're gonna compare the new A-Class to like a used A45 AMG.
They're impressed.
See, yeah, they're really impressed, aren't they?
But you know, guys, like we always say, if there's a car about, you know what we're gonna do? Let's just talk about it. Catch you in the next one.
Swipe up, guys. Yeah, subscribe, guys. We'll keep pumping these videos out for you. Cheers.